there everyone, and welcome back to Hollow Knight with me, Kid K. Mirai. Let's hit it and get started. Today, as I promised at the end of the last video, we are going to be heading to a new area right at the beginning. But first of all, what I need to do to get ready for this new area is put on a few charms that I don't normally wear, and you're gonna find out the reason for that pretty quickly. So I gotta put on Joni's Blessing. That's the one that will give me more health masks, but will make it so that I can't heal with soul. I need to put on Lifeblood Heart. That will give me a couple of additional health masks that are going to be blue. And I need to also put on Fragile Heart. That is another one that increases my health. Now that leaves me with just a few more charm notches that I can play with. So let's keep my thorns on, and let's do these ones. Okay, now what I need to do real quick is just count my health masks and make sure that I have at least 15. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And I actually have 16, so that's perfect. Okay, so, like I said, you're gonna find out the reason for that kind of weird requirement pretty quickly. What we're going to do is we're going to head to the downward exit there in Ancient Basin. Oh, wait, I forgot. I can just go like this and superhero my way across. Now my goal, once I get down there, is to try very hard not to get injured, because I need to have at least 15 health masks. I'm going to be taking it kind of easy and slowly. However, first, before we even get anywhere, I'm going to approach this. Now, before I get any closer to this, because I don't want to get so close that it triggers it, you can see to the left that there is an engraving in the rock there that looks a whole lot like our King's Brand, which, if you remember, we got by going into the corpse of the worm in Kingdom's Edge after fighting Hornet. She was sort of guarding it, and because we were able to best her, we were able to go into the worm's corpse, touch something inside it, and we were marked with the King's Brand. And it says, in the description of this, Hallownest's ancient places shall open before it. First of all, let's take a look at this. Higher beings, these words are for you alone. Our pure vessel has ascended. Beyond lies only the refuse and regret of its creation. We shall enter that place no longer. Well, whoever wrote that, maybe you're not going to enter it, but I will. Pretty cool, huh? So if we had actually come down here the first time that we were in Ancient Basin, and we could have dropped down at any time, we would have come upon this door, this sign here that says, you know, about the pure vessel, and refuse and regret, and we'll enter this place no longer, and we wouldn't have been able to. But since we have the King's Brand, we're able to move past it. And we'll continue down through this new section of Ancient Basin. Oh, this is going to be difficult for me because I'm not wearing my long nail charm. But I just... Ooh, this is like ominous background sound. I'm not wearing long nail or Mark of Pride, so I'm gonna have to get closer to things to kill them. Perhaps this was a mistake in my charm choices. But you have to be pretty careful in here again, because I don't want to be injured at all. But look, it's like pretty forbidding. I mean, look at all these spikes. Where we wanted to go is down here. You can see there's a blue thing there, and it's lighting up. it open this door because I had 15 of them. As you can see, there's enough lights for that number of masks. And on the last one, the door opened. And in here, we find a place that is just chock full of the butterflies associated with lifeblood. So I've got to try to... I don't have to really try hard not to get injured anymore because I've already gotten in. It won't, throw me out if I'm hurt. I just needed to have that number of masks ready in order to get in here. However, it wouldn't be great to hurt myself because... Oh. Because I'm unable to heal right now. But I do have a lot of masks, so if I continue to make silly mistakes like that, it's not so terrible. That was dangerous. Much spike. Very danger. Wow, okay, I should have gone down to the... Oh, no, I dispute that one. Can I slip through here? Yes. Okay, and I think I want to actually drop down to the left first of all. No, I don't. Wait. Yes, I do. I think I do. There we go. Okay. Right. Because I want to get over here and find this thing here. Something called an arcane egg. Let's check it out while we're in a place of relative safety. Arcane egg. Mysterious stone egg from before the birth of Hallownest. Relic from the ancient past. This item now holds little value except for those dedicated to history. And if you can see, from the fact that it's on this line of things, it's normally the stuff that we give to Lem. That is going to be another type of artifact that we give to Lem. But that's apparently even more ancient than, most things. So, it didn't even say the Hallownest or the kingdom's history, it just said history in general. Let's see if I can make it up here. Yes, okay. Alright, and now we're in this place that's just really super covered in, lifeblood. If you, look around, you can sort of see... I mean, obviously you can see the butterflies everywhere. But there's something in the very background that when the lights sort of dim a little bit, you can sort of see it blinking. Like, hold on, did you see that just then? Right above where this table is here. When the inspect thing isn't there, you can sort of see something blinking back there. Almost like just another sort of creature. But let's see what this is. This is a charm called Lifeblood Core. And having taken it, we were immediately ejected from the room. So there's that. Let's take a look at the charm. Whoop, wrong direction. Okay. Lifeblood Core contains a living core that bleeds precious lifeblood. When resting, the bearer will gain a coating of lifeblood that protects from a large amount of damage. So that actually is similar to the Lifeblood Heart, which protects from a modest amount of damage. That will give you even more, extra lifeblood. Masks. So, it's, another one that adds to that sort of suite of charms. Now that I've gotten that, rather than continue on downward, as will be the next thing I'm going to do, I don't want to have all these just lifeblood masks, because, like I say, it makes it impossible for me to heal, and also I'm not wearing my, nail extending charms that I tend to use as a crutch a little bit when playing this game so that I don't have to get so close to enemies. So I will be right back. I will come right back to this spot here, but first I'm going to go back to the bench just so that I can rearrange my charms so that I can, maneuver around a little bit better. I'll be right back. Okay guys, here I am back at that exact spot, just as I said I would be. Whoa, okay. I thought, I thought that would be a good thing to do, but it turned out it was not. I'm gonna drop down to here. Do you recognize that sort of, you know, skull? Looks quite a lot like us, or like, you know, remember the guy that we found in Green Path when we first saw Hornet, and also the little guy that we fought Broken Vessel over in Ancient Basin right before we got the Monarch wings. Where is he? Or where are they, I should say. Sorry about that. Where are you, Broken Vessel? Well, I won't waste time trying to find them, actually. I said, and then continued on. Here they are, here they are. Remember them? Looks a little like the bugs of Hallownest, but not exactly the same, said the hunter. And we just found a couple more skulls. Another place where we saw a bunch of those, you know, little creatures was, down in another area of Deep Nest where we fought Nosk. Remember when Nosk pretended to look like the Knight and had a lot of those little, you know, guys that sort of look like us in its lair. Here's some more. And what was the phrase that was used on that sign? This place contains the refuse and regret of something to do with the pure vessel. The pure vessel ascended, and this place contains the refuse and regret of its creation. Well, who do we know that talked about and used the word regret? Confessor Gigi, who is the person who can bring our shade back to us when we have died. And if we don't want to, here's some more of them. If we don't want to, you know, go back to where we died, and when you dream nail them, nothing happens. I'm kind of just going around so that I can show you this scenery here and just like how many skulls and things there are, and also because there's some, you know, money around down here. But like, look at this. The Abyss. We got so low we entered a new area called the Abyss. Wow. A shade? Hi. Uh-oh. Ghosts? Okay, you're not friendly. They're not friendly. Okay. They pop up, but they look like our shade. Look at all these bones. Or, you know, whatever our head is made out of, there sure are a lot of them here. And ghosts. You know, shades just like ours. Refuse and regret. Regret. Associated with shades. And the heads of things like us. Refuse? Doesn't sound like a very pleasant thing to say. Always head left first. Let's see what we can find here. So far, just some shadow creepers. That's a weird looking room. Like, there's a lot of these things that look kind of like... Oh, you know what it looks like? It looks like, the Howling Wraiths. Unleash the Wraiths. You know, like, when you do that attack. Actually, if you dream nail this, it says, our voices will cry out again. And that is the only prompt that you get for the fact that you're supposed to go like this. Unleash the Wraiths. You've gone all shady. lot of this black stuff comes in. Consumed the Abyss Shriek. Tap B while holding up to unleash the shriek. Spells will deplete soul, that's the usual thing. So our Howling Wraiths, we've almost immediately upgraded it to Abyss Shriek. Makes sense because we got it in the Abyss and it has to do with voices. Our voices will be heard again. Please note that when we did the attack, you know, to make that happen, our voices will be heard again. You know, similar to how the Snail Shaman, we got the Howling Wraiths from the first place, said, "Hear me," when you dream nailed them. A lot of that black, you know, inky stuff flowed into us. So, you know, more things for consideration. Actually, let me show you what happens when you unleash the shriek. It's an even cooler version of that attack that has black yelling faces as part of it. I would do it again, but I'm out of soul to do it. Actually, hitting these guys does not give you soul, which is another, again, something for consideration. I'm gonna try to get several of them so I can fill the Hunter's Journal entry for them. Okay, so let's continue on here to the right. Ooh. Well, I'm guessing I shouldn't touch that. All of a sudden it's like, oh, a tentacle horrible thing. All of a sudden we've got like something out of H.P. Lovecraft. But you see, there's like a lot of these, well, I didn't mean to destroy it just then. There's a lot of these things in the background though that look vaguely like this arcane egg item. You know, in that they're sort of egg-shaped. You know what else that looks like is the egg from the Black Egg Temple, all the way back from the beginning of the game. That when we killed Monomon, lost one of its seals, because it had the 3 mask seals. And what you have to do here, if you look over here, all of this is just like really horrible, terrible, full of badness. And you're really not able to shoot yourself over that. You can't touch it, and you can't shoot yourself over it because you can see its tentacles are too big, too tall. What we need to do actually is ascend these platforms here. And try not to get overrun by these shadow shade creatures. Sorry to be having to strike them. This almost looks like we're going up the side of a tower. If you look carefully, you can see that they have various different designs. There's like at least a couple of them. There's my journal entry. Let me get away from where they are appearing before I'll get out. See, that one has some pretty tall horns in comparison to us. That guy, there's another one like that, but like this one has the horns that curl downward more. There's another one with tall horns. I just want to see. I think there's a third kind, but I'm not 100% sure. I can sort of hear them. Yeah, there's this guy that has 4 horns, and it's weird that these little wispy things do double damage, you know? I got a little bit of soul back just thanks to my, my grub song charm. Oh, we have a couple of things here with 4-pronged crowns. We have this big thing here, and we have a body here. Let's dream nail the body. Turn it off? Cannot. My king. I'm sorry. The sea calls. Okay, turn it off. I cannot. Oh, thanks. Here's some soul. That's good. Okay, well, there's a switch here, so let's hit it. Let in a bunch of Luma flies. And created a glow. And so this person did not want to turn it off. And is sorry to the king because the sea called. Maybe that's the sea? Like that liquid down there that's full of tentacle monsters? But this person was apologizing to the king for not wanting to turn it off. So I guess the king wanted it turned off? That's interesting, since turning it off, well, you'll see. Since it's now turned on, it's shining light out across this, and you can safely touch the sea. So it almost seems like that person said the sea calls, as in like they wanted to go and swim in this. We're going to superhero across it. But the king didn't want them to do that? Did the king have that person killed? I don't know, maybe that's too big of a conclusion to jump to. That they were apologizing for not wanting to turn it off. Okay. Here we are, and here's some more of these, you know, black egg looking things. Okay. Now that's too tall to get through, so can't even jump over it. Over here, there's these things. I'm just checking out everywhere. There must be a way to get through those gates, right? I mean, there's got to be. Can't get that item either. Let's go over here. What is this? Oh. I'm actually stuck. Bathing in that made us absorb the Shade Cloak. Press RT to dash forward cloaked in shadow. Use the cloak to dash through enemies and their attacks without taking damage. This is an upgrade to our cloak. And now you have to wait for it to recharge. But now we can actually use that to go through things. So if you just keep dashing like only like every fourth one or so, it will, you know, be useful. Let's see if we can see anything else about that. Here it is. The Mothwing Cloak has now become the Shade Cloak. Cloak formed from the substance of the abyss allows the wearer to dash through enemies and their attacks without taking damage, just as it said. So man, coming in the abyss is a great idea. I know we never looked at the God Tuner, device that resonates with beings of high power, of great power, glows bright upon defeating mighty foes. But you can see down at the bottom of that there's the 4 things that are going to represent Pantheon, so I've gotten enough bosses attuned to get in that first Pantheon. Anyway, I'm getting off topic. And this is shielded. We can't know what this thing is or, you know, what it's there for, but it was holding this chalice. It's full of ever-flowing abyss substance, whatever that might be. And you saw it just like fully turned us into, you know, a shade for a second there. So look, now we can just go straight through that. And got an arcane egg for our trouble. Okay. Now, I know, you know, what else that will let us do, and I'm sure you can guess as well. That is finally the thing that will allow us to go through these gates. Because it sort of makes you go insubstantial. Because you sort of become what your shade is in that second. You see, as you dash forward, you just basically look like your shade. Okay, inspect. An imprint of abyss given form. And that gave us another Hunter's Journal entry. We'll take a look at that as well. And this, looks like a place where maybe someone sat, but there's 4 prongs here, but they're sort of not necessarily, you know, evenly made. So you wonder who sat there at any given point. But actually, while we're over here, just in a peaceful place, let's take a look at the Hunter's Journal entries. So we found... well, these are called siblings. Fragment of a lingering will. Far down below us, beneath the kingdom, the air grows stiller and a sense of emptiness pervades. Can life flourish down there? If so, I will hunt it. The hunter's been hunting shades. See, take a look. That's what our shade says. Says each of us leaves an imprint of something when we die, a stain on the world. I don't know how much longer this kingdom can bear the weight of so many past lives. So, these guys, I wonder why they're called siblings. Again, I told you were going to get a lot of lore this episode. And what we got for inspecting that thing in the background there was something for these void tendrils, because you can't kill them. There's no way to kill them. Fragments of void taking the shape of sharp, thrashing tendrils. The bugs of Hallownest sometimes wondered whether there were other, older, stranger kingdoms down below them. What strange fancies they had. That's probably why they were always so distracted and easy to kill. Well, we started finding these things called arcane eggs that are supposedly, you know, imprints or that are related to a time before Hallownest. The other thing that we know about a time before Hallownest is that it was the worm that became the king that created that kingdom of Hallownest. So there was something that was there before that. On the other hand, the tablets all say, especially in Howling Cliffs, that one that says that there's nothing exists outside Hallownest. Oh, whoops. That's me being silly. Nothing exists outside Hallownest. You'll lose your mind if you leave. Despite that clearly not being true, since Quirrell lost some memories, or we don't know if it had anything to do with that, or if it had something to do with maybe Monoman wanted him to lose his memories so that he would provide proper protection for her mask. But we know that people come from other places, so there were definitely people who exist outside of Hallownest, and there were definitely things that existed here before Hallownest. So, okay, what we need to do is not get touched by those guys that are called siblings. And what we need to do is climb on up out of here. Well, let's see if I can find my way. Because I think I might need to, you know, make my way some different ways than how I dropped down, because that way was kind of ended with us dropping down a pretty sheer face to get to the Lifeblood Core room. Okay, we're gonna have to go to the left. I'm not making a cut here just because this is our first time in this area, and you gotta understand, like, the huge scale of this place. Like, I haven't filled in the map for down here yet, but you know, because I wonder if we'll be able to fill it in, because well, it's not saying you don't have a map, it hasn't been filled in, I guess possibly because I haven't stayed at a bench again yet. Because Cornifer has not been down here, and he wouldn't have been able to ever get down here without the King's Brand. We opened it up, so I wonder if it's now just permanently open to anyone, or if it will shut itself in the face of someone who doesn't have a King's Brand, which would be practically anybody but us. I mean, it was a one-time thing. The worm's corpse collapsed after we took it. The brand, I mean. Remember, Hornet had to save our butt. Some money. We're doing some pretty decent platforming today. Not great, pretty decent. Okay. I said that, and then I'm gonna, like, do something really stupid. You never know with me. Are you gonna get, like, a good gamer girl who knows how to defeat bosses in one try and do all kinds of kick flips? Or are you going to get somebody who falls like a doofus down an elevator shaft? Oh my god, hello, Hornet! Speaking of gamer girls. I'm kidding. Hi.
La venu venido.
Ghost, I see you faced the place of your birth, and now drape yourself in the substance of its shadow. Though our strength is born of similar source, that part of you, that crucial emptiness, I do not share. Funny, then, that such darkness gives me hope. Within it, I see the chance of change. A difficult journey you would face, but a choice it can create. Prolong our world's stasis, or face the heart of its infection. Thanks, Hornet, for this incredible amount of lore you just dropped on our heads. Hold up. The abyss is the place of our birth? Well, I mean, we could have jumped to that conclusion based on the fact that there's a lot of things that look like us down there. We've been seeing those little creatures around Hellenus dead, or, you know, animated by infection in the case of Broken Vessel. But there's so many of them down there, and they look like us. They're shaped like us. They make shades like us. I mean, presumably the siblings are related to those dead, you know, skulls down there. So, okay, so born there. You and I have some similar background, meaning the Knight and Hornet, but she doesn't share that crucial emptiness, so you don't have any abyss in you. But you have other things in you that the Knight does. So she says that the darkness gives her hope, which could be referring to us as a heroic character trying to do something. And she says you can choose to prolong the world's stasis or choose a different path. Let's see if she has anything more to say.
Hakana sagamos.
I'd urge you to take that harder path, but what end may come, the decision rests with you. So she wants us to do the choice out of those two that's harder.
Hakana sagamos.
Okay. What do you say if I dream now? It faced the void and ascends unscathed. Could it unite such vast darkness? Unite the vast darkness. Well then. Thank you, Hornet, for just a lot of food for thought. Bye. I guess that answered my question that it doesn't close again. I basically just exploded it, that door, because she was able to get in despite not having a King's Brand. Alright, well, so Ghost here, our little knight, was born in the abyss down there. And it was sealed by a door that said that it was full of the refuse and regret of the creation of something called a pure vessel. Again, we know what regret is. It's the shades. But refuse? That kind of is pretty rude. I mean, all those dead creatures are just trash. I mean, what? What I'm doing now is I just wanted to stop at the bench real quick while I was yammering on. What we're going to do is we're going to go up through the rest of Ancient Basin, and we're going to take the tram to Deep Nest again. And remember the big loud room with all the centipedes? And I said we were going to do the upward exit from there, but not the bottomward exit from there. Hey! King, did you seriously call all those dead bodies refuse? Bastard. I mean, I just think that's pretty mean. Anyway, we didn't do the downward exit from that room. And the reason why is that there's a black gate down there that you need a shade cloak to get through, so there wouldn't have been any point for me to do that. Oh, I forgot, there's a bench in the tram. I didn't need to go to the hidden station. Oopsie. Well, I mean, I don't want to talk a whole lot about what Hornet just told us. Like, I don't want to go, like, overkill and start, you know, over-explaining things, because remember, I know more than you do, and so I don't want to accidentally give anything away. But that is a huge, big deal, what we just found out there. I remember when I first played just being, like, mind-blown by the idea that, you know, there were so many of these, you know, little guys like the Knight, as opposed to just maybe a few. And so I guess we can assume that the Knight and Broken Vessel, the little creature in Green Path, all, you know, got out of the abyss somehow despite being locked behind that door. So there must be some other way out, because the Knight came into Hallownest from, yeah, the reason why that was behind one of these gates is just that you need to be able to shade cloak dash through these things to make it through. Anyway, so at the very beginning of the game, we saw, okay, or you could just go into them and slide through that way, but we saw the Knight came from somewhere else into the kingdom, so like there must be some other way out, especially since, given that other, you know, others of those creatures got out as well. Just barely didn't make that, so you have to be able to do that. What you get for your efforts is you get to go down here where there's more of these are usually totems that you can strike for soul, but take this. Sharp Shadow, that is a charm as well. Sharp Shadow contains a forbidden spell that transforms shadows into deadly weapons. When using Shadow Dash, that's our new Shade Cloak Dash, the bearer's body will sharpen and damage enemies. So when you wear this charm in conjunction with your new Shade Cloak, not only will you be able to dash through enemies, when you do so, you'll do damage. So that is a pretty cool thing to have in some instances. I find it very useful for certain boss battles. Okay, so just gonna head back to the tram, and what we're gonna actually do is we are going to, let's see, what do I want to do? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the tram back over to Ancient Basin, and I'm going to just get down to the hidden station again. I'm telling you this because I'm going to make a cut. But I'm going to go down to hidden station, use the stag to get up to King's Station. And what we are going to do is we are going to head for, you can see I've sort of positioned it in the middle there. Right by the fountain to the Hollow Knight to the right, there's that building that has some rich people in it that when we first went through it, we weren't able to climb up any higher through it because we did not have the Monarch Wings. And I've been avoiding going up it until now, but now I think it's about time that we climbed up that building. So I will be right back, guys, once I get us all the way to there. Immediately get hit. Okay, I'm making the cut now. Hey again. Guess what, kids? I changed my mind. I decided that first, before we do that, we are going to try to sell these arcane eggs to Relic Seeker Lem, because while we're on, and we were just in a place called the Abyss where we were born, and Hornet doesn't have emptiness, but she's made of some similar stuff to us, and we have a bunch of lore. I figured may as well get some more lore, just in case he says something cool about them. Okay. Ah, this seems like a simple egg, but it's actually a precious relic from before the birth of Hallownest. I'll pay you a small fortune for it. Please sell it to me. He's really excited about these. Thanks.
Velmi Ardred.
An arcane egg, eh? Now this is an ancient thing. These relics are the prize of my profession. There's knowledge hidden within, though it's very difficult, painstaking work to extract. One large understanding can be gleaned, though. This civilization may claim itself the first, but something else did exist within this place before Hallownest. Each egg offers a narrow glimpse into that forgotten age.
Venomny Artrit.
Okay, so he's beginning to say different things to us again, and we have another one. He really wants us to sell them.
Kachael. Liaso.
Another arcane egg. It's a rare chance to own 2 of these. I'll be the envy of all my colleagues, though my purse is feeling much lighter for it. Not actually even asking him for Geo, he just gives it to us. I mean, we never say anything. Just looking at him like, hand it over, just making the, gimme gesture. These eggs are the most desired find from time before Hallownest, but they're not the only remnant of that age. You may have come upon them, those old statues that seem a store for soul. They too prove its existence, though in a larger, cruder form. So the soul totems are from Helmadelka, are from before Hallownest as well. Remember how the guys in the Soul Sanctum had like a ton of those in their basement because they were trying to learn how to use soul for their own gain to gain immortality and, proof against the infection? So they were collecting a lot of those things. So those seem to be somewhat, I guess, more common since Lem knows about them, but the arcane eggs are apparently even more special. Okay, so here we are in the bottom of this building. And now that we have the Monarch wings, and we've had them for quite some time, but it was not stars, not aligned, not the right time yet. I didn't want to come up here just yet, but now we're going to head upward. You've noticed that that part of the City of Tears, just that building is colored just slightly differently from the rest. Interesting, huh? Got a sumptuously decorated place that's full of more rich people. It sounds like we're gonna... Okay, lots of guards. Oh! They dropped down real fast, real far. Real far, real fast, excuse me. I'm so excited about having been in the Abyss and having gotten all that cool information. It looks like there is a bench through here. That's good and nice. Map updated, so we're already up in, an area higher than what we've been before in there. Actually, let me real quick show you on the map. Big thing down there. See, the Abyss is really quite huge. So we, the little bit off to the left was the part that we got the Lifeblood Core in. You can see all the way down to the left there was where we got Abyss Shriek, the lighthouse, and the little dead creature, I should say the big dead creature, where we got the Shade Cloak. So we're filling in our map with those particular little landmarks. So let's progress through this area. Let's go down first just to see what we can see and who we can kill. Because I'm hearing one of those big guards down there. Come on, do the 2 thing. There we go. That let me out. I stayed on the bench now. These guys are back. Back to kill me. But that opened up that door that was down here. Broken elevators. See, this is very beautifully decorated. This would have been like, a big deal. Nice place. Go up the broken elevator shaft. Open this up. That's handy because I think that's gonna lead. Yep, that leads over to the bench. Well, let's progress upward. basically just gonna, like, kill everything in my path here. Come on, dude. Ah! Oh, whoopsie doodle. Actually, you know what? Hold on just a second, guys. I'm gonna run to the bench real quick since I'm right over here. That's gonna make everything come back to life, but it's okay because I haven't been up there yet. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna actually take that off. I had Sprint Master on. What I'm gonna put on is I'm actually going to put on my Sharp Shadow because I want you to I want to show you how cool that looks. And I do that, and I've already got on. I've got on my Mark of Pride. I've got my Unbreakable Strength. Yeah, I think I didn't mean to fire that, but okay. I can shoot my nail through the floor. I thought maybe if I go up here again, where there's this guard who might be tall enough that I can't really jump over him too good, that I could go. You see that did damage? Neat, huh? So all I have to do really is wait for my cloak to come back. Just go dashing through. Dashing through the guards with my shadow that can slay. Through this place I go, killing all the way. It's the day after Christmas, as I'm recording this. Okay. Okay, now if we go through here, you'll be surprised where we end up, or maybe you won't be if you paid attention to the map. That was a door that goes all the way back. Oh, I'm not wearing my compass. Oh no. But that's a door that goes all the way back into, well, I can point it out. That first building, you can see how that connects between the place that we were, that's in the center, that's colored differently, and all the way back to the first building, you know, that we came into when we first got to City of Tears, and we came out here, and there was just that gate there that we couldn't get through, and now we have another little link. Now, of course, when we use the Shade Cloak, it also damages, you know, the backgrounds around us. You know, the Okay, alright, so this is the elevator up. On the way up. Let's go to the right first because I know that's the right way to go. Well, I know that's the right way to go first, let's say. Oh, I shade cloaked too fast. Because through here is a grub! Yay! Haven't had a grub in a really long time. Aren't you glad that that was actually a grub and not a mimic? I sure am. No. See, sometimes I be checking my map when I don't have a map. Sometimes I'm checking the map when I don't have my compass on. Look, see, through here you can see these windows have got the Halonist seal, you know, winged crown motif on them. Now, let's head upward. And that grub was sort of off to the right there. You could see its thing. Now, I'm going to do something that is just slightly spoilery, but it's only spoiling something that's going to happen 10 seconds later, and you can probably guess. You can probably guess by the fact that there's like infection luma flies up there, and there's a bunch of dead looking things there, and the fact that it's really deathly quiet, and the fact that I took off my compass and changed up my charms. There's going to be a boss battle. So it's not really a spoiler. I'm not going to tell you what the boss battle is like, but if I jump up here and hit the ceiling, I can break it. And this is a thing that I'm spoiling, like I said, something small that you're going to find out anyway, because this makes the fight easier. This is a mechanism, you can see it's attached to a chandelier. I'm going to break it and send that down. And this is just a tip, honestly, for if you're playing the game yourself in the future. Jump up there and do that, because you can see it fell down and crushed one of those bodies. So, without further ado, let's walk into this room. Wish me luck. Because the door's just locked. And this guy's getting full of the infection flies. Watcher Knight. See, and it's so much easier to deal with these since I have the Shade Cloak, which is why I wanted to do that before there was any chance that I would come up here. I've damaged that one enough that another one has arisen. Okay, I killed one. These guys can be tough, so I'm not going to talk too much while I deal with them, because they can be fast, and there's more than one of them at once. Third one. Doing halfway decent. And the sharp shadow, as you can see, damages them. Normally, you would not be able to damage them when they are rolling around. Okay, and I think I'm down to the last one. Yes! Yes! Ah. Okay, my heart's beating pretty fast, because those can be a kind of a problem, but I actually did like fairly good at it. There would have been, as you could guess, one more that would come if I had not crushed it with the chandelier. Yeah, I mean, I probably could have handled it without doing that, but I really didn't want to risk it. These guys broke my Steel Soul run once after I had done literally everything that I've shown you that I've done. Every single thing that I've shown you that I've done up until this point, I had done without dying a single time in my Steel Soul run, and these guys messed it up, and that was the last... I mean, I'm not doing Steel Soul now, obviously, but I didn't want to die. I died to Grim, and I just felt really embarrassed about that, so instead I decided not to die to these guys today. Okay, well, before we head to the right and head up, why don't we stand amid their broken corpses and see what the hunter has to say about them. Watcher Knight. Discarded shell of a Watcher Knight, reanimated by a swarm of infected flies. So they were dead. I mean, there's no two ways about it. These guys were once alive, now dead, and just reanimated by the infection. So, sort of similarly to how you could kind of assume that the broken vessel was, if not completely dead, then mostly dead. It did sort of wriggle and look at you, blank-eyed after the infection left it when it was defeated, but, not really. I'm getting off topic. But anyway, these guys were dead and reanimated. They weren't, infected bugs like the, like the husks you see around. They were completely dead. Okay. When these silent warriors fall in battle, their bodies split open and strange bugs come flying out. I wonder, what will come flying out of me when I die? Will my hopes and fears drift away into the darkness? The hunter asking weird questions again, as he sometimes does. But, so he has actually only come upon them when they've already been dead and full of these infected flies. So perhaps he came up here and encountered some before this. And as you can see, there are more shells back there than the ones that, we fought. There are supposed to be, I think, 6 of them, and we fought 5 because I crushed one. But you can see that there are more back there that, perhaps... So the hunter could have come across them. There were more than just what we fought. But, but they are called Watcher Knights. Do you remember that one of the Dreamers was actually called Lurien the Watcher? And do you see that way up above this building here, which we're probably getting close to being that high, we haven't been back to the bench, is a Dreamer mask. So those Watcher Knights were guarding Lurien the Watcher. We can infer. A Hellenist seal, which, as we know, is like a symbol of devotion to the city, if we remember what those are. See, we find them all around. It's symbolizing the authority of the king and his knights. So finding a Hellenist seal, like sometimes we just find them on random guys and it doesn't really mean terribly much, or it could mean something like, it was found near someone that, had some kind of authority or who was interested in that kind of authority. But here it really makes sense to find it because we're in a place that actually has knights that we just, killed the remains of. So, and here we have more portraits of random rich people, and we're just going to continue up. But all the decorations here have got the motifs from, the relics that Lem collects, and the Hellenist seals. And here's some people. Perhaps we can dream on them. Master, too tired. They all the same. Cannot watch longer. I wonder what it means to be a watcher. See, a watcher knight, you could almost think, would be, a knight that protects the watcher. But, ooh, now that's interesting. Look at those statues. Or are they statues? Hold on, I'm gonna try to check that out. Because I can. Can I? Oh, well, I can destroy them. Oh! I don't think I knew this. I just wanted to look at the statue and... No, I don't think I've ever seen this, you guys. Hold on. This is new to me, too. There's a room back here. There's a chair in it. And this looks like the kind of markings that are on the signs all over town and that are on Wanderer's journals. Sleep beckons eternal, and these words become my last. Though my gaze shall no longer fall upon this city, I will act forever in its protection. For king, or bug, or hallow nest, I head now to my rest. Well, that's got to be from Lurien, then. Head now to my rest as a dreamer, then. I didn't mean to open that. The one that I meant to open was the map. So, yeah, I mean, when we found Monomon, she was literally asleep in her tank. So I guess these dreamers really are literally asleep and dreaming. And they've put seals on something that's, dream related, since the infection has got something to do with dreams. Okay, inspect. Good telescope. And you can just look out on the city. There's just little venge flies going around. You can't do anything to move it, it's just this picture, but that's really pretty. Look at the pretty rain animation. Get out of there. Okay, so we have some words from Lurien that they went to their rest. And look, there's like a painting here that's, you know, similar to what you can see out the window. So maybe the Watcher really, and the person downstairs said we can't watch any longer. And some candles. And sleep on a bed. Well, first of all, I'm gonna see if I can dream nail this guy. Master, late calls. So this enemy, you know, worked for Lurian. Okay, I'm not gonna kill you, actually. I feel bad for you. You're like the zombified person who works for Lurian. Okay, well, this little person. A sleeping figure lays atop the stone plinth. Okay. Well, we know what we have to do to encounter dreamers, and it is to dream nail them. It only makes logical sense, right? Now here we are in this same, dreamy looking place that Monoman was in. It almost sort of looks a little brighter though. Does it look brighter to you? And here's Lurian. We know we can do his dream nail him. For King Beloved. To sleep, to serve. Bonds must remain. Okay, is that all? Remain. Okay. No, we have to. Well, it's just this floating guy. I mean, I wonder how tall he is actually there. Oh, there's his legs. I'm sorry, that's mean. Okay, well, have to focus. Just a little guy. He's gone, and the candles are out. Okay, I'm still not gonna kill this guy because I feel... Or should I kill him to put him out of his misery? No, I would feel bad getting the Geo for killing that guy. They'll die of natural causes soon enough. I mean, they're already infected. But, okay, so... Unlike with... There's things behind all of these. Unlike with Monoman, where we had help with the associated boss fight from Quirrell, and got some more information, like a little bit more information about her from Quirrell afterward, we don't really have terribly much information about... Oh, I've made a mistake. Hold on. As I'm trying to, you know, discuss the important lore of this game, I'm heading down to my spiky doom. Anyway, you notice that one was fixed when I came back. But, okay, we don't really get too much about Lurian because all the people that would have been associated with him, like the knights that I guess were protecting the spire and his servants, are all dead or infected by the time we get here. So, what we can piece together, though, is he was called Lurian the Watcher, and he had that telescope to look out over the city, I guess perhaps to, you know, like you can think Watcher in like a protector sort of sense, like watching out for threats, or just Watcher in the sense of like keeping an eye on things, like he was some sort of bureaucrat. Obviously, he painted, since there's portraits all over the place, and there was a painting, you know, of the city even right there where his, you know, dreaming plinth was. Seems like kind of a cultured guy. Oh, okay. See, the bodies of the ones that I killed, except for the ones that I crushed, are gone, and you can definitely see that there are more back there. you know, a cultured guy living in like this nice place, so he must have been like pretty important to the running of the city. So maybe like, I say, some kind of, you know, administrator perhaps, like maybe he, you know, looked after the city in the king's absence, since the king, you know, the royal wrong button. The royal palace is all the way down there in Ancient Basin, and you know, perhaps since the City of Tears is more centrally located, perhaps Lorien was an important person in the city. And he talked about in his Dreamno dialogue, King Beloved, and that the bonds must remain. So you can infer from that, remember, Monoman was the one who, did not want, or she was the one who wanted the seals to be broken when, the Dreamers accosted us back in Green Path and in, the Arresting Grounds. I'm just heading back to the bench. We're actually going to, call it a night for tonight because we've done quite a lot today, but it's okay to, you know, stop for a second and get some more money on the way. But, anyway, so, Monoman was the one who recommended breaking the seals, saying that, you know, for diversity, a seal, that was her seal, and that things would remain unchanging forever if the seals are not broken, was sort of the gist that you got from her. But Lorien was saying, like, the bonds must not be broken, so he was always the one, when the Dreamers were talking amongst themselves, Monoman would say, they must be undone, and Lorien would be the one saying they can't be undone or mustn't be undone. So he more believed in whatever it was that the king did to place the seal on the infection, whereas Monoman wanted there to be perhaps a different solution further down the line if this failed. But Lorien was perhaps unfailingly loyal to the king and his, you know, solution to this problem. So that's the sort of characterization that you can just sort of glean from the things that you can see around, you know, Lorien in this place. So guys, I promised a lot of lore and a lot of excitement. I hope I delivered. And before I get up on completely another tangent about stuff, I am going to try to call it a night. We got some charms today. We got Sharp Shadow and Lifelet Core. Yeah, I think that's all. We dealt with another Dreamer. We did a boss battle, and perhaps most importantly, we learned some things about the Knight, and a little bit about Hornet too, if you know, can want to infer things from what she said about the Knight and about herself. We gained the Shade Cloak, which will allow us to head through those black gates that we otherwise could not traverse. And we gained a new spell, the Howling Rays, Abyss Shriek, the upgrade for Howling Rays. So, tons of fun this time on Hollow Knight that involved a lot of, you know, weird arcane knowledge and, you know, sad dead things underneath the kingdom that may or may not have existed before the kingdom. I mean, Relic Seeker Lem thinks that they did, and in fact there's arcane eggs down there suggests that those creatures existed pre-Hellenist. So, raises a lot of questions, and as we forge ahead, we're only going to continue to find the answers, or at least find possible answers to it that we can discuss as we go. So, until next time, have a good night, everybody.